Hello, I hope all of you can hear me. Good morning to all of you. This is Pranay, and we are live for our webinar session, particularly for the students who are in grade 10th moving to 12th. And this session is primarily be focusing on the problem and the challenges faced by the NRI students worldwide. So we are going to talk about few of those queries over here. So since we are live, we do not have this issue of editing and all. Okay, so we have around like 16 people here. So do keep this thing in mind that whenever you are there, if you have any queries going on, kindly write that in the comment or in the chat, so that we can take these queries one by one, and we will be able to answer it all together. Okay. So yeah, can admin comment something so that I can see if the queries are coming in? We'll start in next, I think maybe next 2-3 minutes. Can admin write something in the chat box or in the comment section? तरुण बोलो ना, अविनाश को टाइप करेगा जल्दी से. कमेंट में टाइप करो ना, कमेंट में टाइप करके मुझे बताओ, कुछ भी टाइप कर दो. टेस्ट. Okay, give me another maybe just maximum 30 seconds. Let me just see if I'm getting any thing in the chat box. Okay, Avinash, can you just type something in the chat box quickly, because I wanted to make sure that whatever questions are coming in, I should be able to see that. Can you just quickly type something, maybe a sample question or just a confirmation that yes. Okay, I think let's just go and get started with it. With time, we'll be able to see it. Avinash, you just let me know if anybody comes in or if any question comes in. You can just let me know, and I'll be able to be able to answer it. Okay, so starting first of all, we have this slide prepared for you where we are going to talk about. Where we are going to talk about the students who are in grade 10th right now and moving to grade 11th, particularly for the NRI students, because most primarily we are present there in the Middle East, and not frequent, not recently, but we've been there for the last a decade or more. So we have seen approximately more than 5-10,000 students going through the similar phase and the challenges and the problem faced by them. And as a result of it, today I am here to share my experiences with the new students who are venturing into grade 10th board examination and now moving to grade 11th. And for you all parents and students, what I did is I have compiled a couple of questions. Let me just go through them one by one. Like this is the first slide. Let me just disable my camera. Okay, this is okay here. So the first slide is and basically I wanted to make sure and I wanted to tell it to you that I will be sticking to the point. I'll not go much into the detail. Otherwise, this single slide can take anywhere around from 40 minutes to an hour. So this slide is telling you what? The title of the slide is High Time to Decide Between. There are 3 fundamental queries that we receive every year from every parent, and students struggle with these 3 questions. Okay. So let's take the fundamental query 1. Engineering, medical, or other streams. So parents and students do struggle between these things, that okay, since the student is in grade 10th now, he will be soon going or giving the examination for board examination, and after that we have not decided yet that which okay, meanwhile let me just if you have read if you've already read these 3 points, I'll quickly come to my web camera view so that you can see me better. So I'm going to answer this first query first of all. Engineering or medical entrance examination. Okay, so as of now you are in grade 10th, you have given your board examination, and now you're struggling with this, that okay, in 11th we are confused, either he'll be going for engineering, or he'll be going for medical, or for commerce, or at this point in time we are not even sure. And this is, I'm talking in perspective of students and parents both. Okay, so student most of the time they're unsure that which stream I'll be going for. At this point in time, without telling you anything subjective, I would like to come with an approach, I would say an objective approach, where I can tell you things conclusively which can help you make decisions better. So I'm not going to tell you a simple fact that okay, 11th is going to be very important for you, you have to start studying now. I understand that is true, but with what conclusive proof? Okay, there are few things that you need to know as of now, and if you waste any of your time any further, it'll be start getting difficult for you day by day. Why I say so? If you allow me, I would like to write something on the screen, but that might take some time. But okay, that's okay. I'll try doing it. Let me do that for you. Okay, fortunately, I have this here with me. Okay, let me note it down and let me just share it for you. See, in grade, just a minute. Okay, in grade, in which grade you are right now? Right now you're in grade 10th. Okay, I have to make it thick a little bit. I hope it is. I hope all can see. Avinash, can you confirm? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So everybody can see it. That's okay. So right now you are in grade 10th. Okay, and you are moving to grade 11th. After this, you'll be going to grade 12th. And why it's high time for you? In these 2 years over here, you have maximum how many days? You don't have more, if you have 365 days here and you have 2 years, it'll be roughly around 730 days for you. Just to bring some clarity, what this means. In a typical IIT JEE, let's say engineering, if you're planning for engineering, I'm just taking an example, and this is true to most of the cases, not just for engineering, but for medical also. Okay, if you're going for medical, let's say here, engineering or medical, what these examinations are doing, they are having approximately 700 topics that you need to go through. Okay, if you are having these 700 topics with you, this means even if you do single topic a day and you make it sure that you don't come back to that topic, you don't have more time left, you just have 30 days margin with you. Okay, and I'm facing some difficulty while writing here on it. I am not sure if you all will be able to see that, but let me just quickly come back to the presentation mode. I think that is much better. Okay, so since I told you, you have roughly what you have around like 730 days, including your grade 11th and 12th. Okay, out of those 730 days, even if you study for each topic daily, any of the entrance examination you pick up, be it JEE, be it medical, be it going to be a commerce stream examination, I'm not sure, but you can type that in the admin section and I'll be able to answer your queries. But if you study each topic every day, starting from your board examination, the moment it gets end and you start doing your topics every day, you will not be having a sufficient time to come back to it. Right now you must be thinking that okay, he's going to get into grade 11th, but we have time, we have 2 years. You don't have 2 years. Why so? Because if you think each academic session is not more than of 8 months, okay, so academically you don't have more than 16 months, out of which 12th is going to be a board examination, and if you spend 50% time on your CBSE preparations, then you don't have 16 months in actual. Okay, you have less than 12 months for a sincere preparation of any of the entrance examination. That is the reason, the very fundamental reason where I mentioned that you have to decide now, and this is the high time to decide between the engineering or medical or any other stream, because you don't have time. I'll come back to this later, okay? And you can just answer your queries. I hope, Avinash, are you getting any queries? I'm not able to see the questions if in case I have to answer. Okay, so right now we have no questions. Now the second question that we come across is basically it's basically a problem or an understanding from the parents that we usually get is about staying abroad or sending a child back to India in grade 11th. Okay, many of the parents are doing these things quite frequently, and we have seen an increasing trend after the COVID situation. Now, many of the parents are sending their child back to India, considering what? Considering one fundamental thing, that if we send our children back to India, our fee or our education fees or the entrance examination fee or the college fee is going to be a little lesser. But that is true to an extent. But you have to have a risk analysis and you have to have an opportunity analysis with this statement. Okay, why I'm saying so? If you have already studied till grade 10th in Middle East, then if you shift back to India in grade 11th and 12th, the first and the foremost question comes, do my NRI quota will be eligible, which we call as DASA and CIWG? And yes, an interesting thing I would like to share with all of you, which is that for all the parents who are either planning to shift their child back to India or they're retaining them in Middle East or anywhere abroad, we have a book compiled for all of you. You can download that from the description after the session is over. Okay, at that point in time, you will be able to download this book, and this is going to be very helpful. Okay, so coming back to the point, stay abroad or shift back to India. Now, the fundamental thing which comes here, if you shift your child back to India, two problems will come up. First is he will not be eligible under the DASA and the CIWG quota. He will be treated as a regular Indian student, but because he is bearing a status of NRI, in most of the cases, you will end up paying more than an Indian student whatever he is paying. So there's a possibility that you might end up paying the same fees without getting the same quota. Okay, so this is the problem number one. As long as you're not going for the private or maybe the state engineering colleges, for which I'm going to talk in the next slide. Okay, so staying abroad or back to India. So two problems will come up. As I told you, first of all, you are shifting back to India, so NRI quota is not applicable. The second fundamental problem and a very serious problem will come up. It is that your child, your ward has studied so far in the ecosystem which is given by the Middle East region or by the CBSE school. Whatever you have around you, that's the ecosystem. So the child has grown seeing that ecosystem and is completely adaptive to it, correct? Now suddenly you are changing the ecosystem, you are changing the level playing field of this guy, of this student, and you are changing this from Middle East to India. And now you might wonder what's the problem. The problem is in the study ecosystem of India. In India, as you have already studied in India, and if you have seen as a parent, the competition is fierce. Even if you look at the statistics, it is not supporting you. I will tell you how. In India, if you send your child back to India, NRI quota is not applicable. This means now this student, your ward, will be competing against all the Indian students who have been preparing for these entrance examinations for the last maybe 2-3 years, because in India we start for JEE or medical preparation starting from the grade 8th or 9th. 8th, I think 8th is okay. 8th they start the foundation course. So now this child who is here in Middle East, you are sending him back there, and he will be, as I said, there's a statistical proof. Now this guy will be competing against the 14 lakh aspirants who are there in India. Even at this point in time, when you are there in Middle East, and if you plan to make your child stay in Middle East, what advantage you have? The advantage you are having is, in India, if I have to take admission in NIT, I have to clear JEE main. Okay, I have to have a very good rank in JEE main score. Only after that I'll be able to get into NITs. But if you are there under the NRI quota, the number of students who are actually writing this JEE main is far more lesser. Let me just again come back to the writing mode. Just allow me a minute because this is quite tricky to manage everything. Just bear with me. Just give me a minute. I'll try to, because when I write the statistics with you for you, I think it'll better. Okay. Okay. So here I have it. Let me just go down a little bit and let me just write it down for your convenience. What's happening here is, in India, you have approximately 14 lakh students. 14 lakh students. Here abroad, and out of these 14 lakh students, how many seats do we have? Even to write seats, it's difficult for me. Okay, so out of these 14 lakh students, we have roughly 10,000 seats in IITs. Okay, and some miscellaneous seats in NITs, triple ITs, and these 65 centrally funded universities. Okay, these centrally funded universities are those which are accepting the DASA and CIWG quota. I'll leave a link in the description. You can go back to that later. Okay, so right now what you have to look here is, in India you are having 14 lakh students writing this examination. Okay, and abroad you have not more than 15,000 students writing this examination every year. Now here, as you've seen that in India, only 10,000 students are getting selected. And in this case, you have not more than 15-20,000 seats. But in abroad, out of 15,000 seats, you have reserved seats for you, basically you being NRI parents and students. You have 4,000 seats reserved with you. Okay, so now you can look at the ratio analysis of it, which means what? In India, it's a ratio analysis. I've calculated it. It's coming around, for every one student, for every 130 student, every one student gets a seat. Out of every 130 students who are writing the JEE main, only one student is getting a seat. Whereas in abroad case, if you take it, the ratio is 4:1. Amongst every four student, at least one student will be able to take a seat, because you have a DASA CIWG scheme which is giving you a flexibility, which is giving you this right that you have access to these 4,000 students. So sending your child back to India, let me just come back to the screen mode. Okay. Yeah, so as we were discussing it about okay, the second point, staying abroad or shift back to India. So I've given you two things. First is, shifting back to India will lose your eligibility of being called NRI, of being taking this scheme called DASA and CIWG. It is not there, so I'm just clearing this up, because quite frequently we get this query on the website and on the WhatsApp groups. So you are not eligible. Second, you are now shifting your ward to India, and you are exposing your children or your child to these 14 lakh students who are writing this entrance examination and who have been preparing for the last several years just for this examination. So the ecosystem is different in India and the ecosystem is different in Middle East. You know this better than me. We have been to Middle East for the last 10 years. We do quite a lot of seminars in school. Privately we do that, and we do coaching, and we prepare students all year long. And most of 95% of the students who are studying with TestprepKart, they are basically NRI students. So we know the challenges faced by them, and that not for the last couple of years, but for more than a decade. Okay, so over here you are exposing, and out of every 130 student, one student is getting selected in India. In abroad, it is every one student getting selected out of the 4 students. So you can understand the competition, the type of competition that we are having here. Okay, by making them a right examination from abroad. Okay, so keeping them in Middle East or anywhere around the world is far more safer, is far more accurate. But some parents who have studied this scenario, they might say, okay, but if we make them stay here, our fee is going to be a little higher. I accept that, but I disagree to an extent. Your fee will be higher only in the case of DASA quota. Okay, and the fee is not going to be exponentially higher if you are an Indian student getting admission in India from an Indian scenario. Your fee will be around 10 lakh, 12 lakh or 13 lakh rupees for a 4-year degree. At the same time, if you get admission under DASA quota for these engineering entrance examination, your fee is not going to be more than 25 lakh rupees. That means you are paying extra 10 lakh rupees, but for a lesser amount of competition. You are not exposing it to 14 lakh students, you are exposing your child to those 15,000 students, out of which 4,000 is reserved. If any of you doesn't know as of now that what I'm speaking about, what is this DASA, what is this CIWG, I understand completely. There is a possibility that you might not know about it. So just to keep it short and concise, let me just tell you, DASA and CIWG is basically interchangeable with NRI quota. Since you guys are there, you have this DASA and CIWG quota through which, and it is not a choice, it is a compulsion. If you have to take admission in India in engineering, in premium engineering colleges except IITs, it is not for IITs. So those who are planning for IITs, there is no difference between you or a Indian student. You all are at the same level. Okay, first thing. Second, if you are planning to get admission in India in the premium engineering colleges except IITs, then in this case, you have DASA and CIWG quota, and you have to apply through DASA portal only. You cannot just mark it, underline it, and keep it as a record. You cannot take admission in India in centrally funded universities, which are 65 in number. I'll again try to give a link in the description under which we have explained everything about DASA and CIWG. Just go and watch these videos. Just subscribe to the TestprepKart channel and you will be updated to the maximum extent possible. Okay, so under this DASA and CIWG, you have to go through DASA portal, and then when you get admission in DASA quota, your fee will be 25 lakh rupees. That means for a ratio of 1:4, you are paying only 10 lakh rupees extra, but you are averting the number of students, or you are averting the competition basically. Okay, in a crude way I can say. And if you get selected under the CIWG quota, in CIWG is a different quota which is considered in DASA only, but CIWG is far more important for all of the students or the parents who are watching this right now from the Middle East. Because CIWG stands for the Children of Indian Workers in Gulf. So if you are watching this video right now from Singapore, you are not applicable for CIWG. If you are watching this video right now from Dubai, Oman, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, or any other Middle Eastern country, the CIWG stands for Children of Indian Workers in Gulf, any of the Gulf countries, then you are applicable for CIWG as well as you are applicable for DASA. If you are watching this from Singapore, you are only applicable for DASA, not for CIWG. Why I said that I partially disagree that the fee is going to be higher is because of this third reason, that if you guys who are from Middle East, you have the CIWG quota, if you guys manage to get seat under the CIWG category, your total fees for the 4 years in India for engineering under these premium engineering colleges like NITs, triple ITs, IISER, and all of these centrally funded institutions in India, your fee for the 4 year degree program will not be more than 6 lakh rupees. Yes, you heard it right. 6 lakh rupees for a 4 year degree. Whereas an Indian student is paying roughly around 10 to 12 lakh rupees for a 4 year degree. So this is why I partially disagree that your fee is going to be higher. If the child is not exposed to the competition, if the child is not exposed to do hard work, then you have to compromise on the DASA category where you have to pay 25 lakh rupees for the same seat. Okay. Suppose I am being the student, I get seat in CIWG, and you being the other student, you manage to get in DASA. For the same college, for the same specialization, for the same seat, I will be paying 6 lakh rupees and you will be end up paying 25 lakh rupees. I hope this is clear. And this is my submission to this point number 2, that why you should stay abroad or why you should not stay abroad, or why you should shift back to India and why you should not back to India. Okay, I still understand that many of you must be having couple of add-on doubts which you can ask in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them. Unfortunately, I am not able to see the comments as of now, but Avinash will help me in knowing if the comments are coming in, and I'll take few of those things in consideration. After that, we will go forward. Okay. Now, math, the third point is, if you have made your mind already that you will be shifting back to India, good enough, you should do that. If you're considering it to stay back in Middle East, great, you have made a choice at least. But the third point is the math behind your preparation. Now again, let me just come back to the full mode view. What is the math behind preparation? Many of us do think that we have 2 years in with us. The student must be quite happy. In next 2 months, they'll be free from the board examination, and the parents are, since COVID is over almost, parents are now planning to go or planning to take them on a vacation because this happened quite a lot and should happen. I'm not against it, but what I'm saying is it's not a time to plan for a vacation, or it's not a time to take things easy because you have 2 years with you. Effectively, you do not have 2 years with you. As I explained you earlier, you have roughly 1 year, 12 months for your sincere preparation, because 12th, first of all, the first reason is that you are going to get into grade 11th, where you will not find anything related to your grade 10th. Till now, it was a piece of cake for you. For whom it was difficult, the time is going to be further more difficult and far more difficult, because things are going to be unrelated in grade 11. The entire syllabus is different. By the time you will cope up with your grade 11 syllabus, you will see that half of the time is already gone, and in 12th again you have a board examination coming in. And what I have seen personally in the Middle East, that parents and students, they literally run after the CBSE coaching classes, which is more like a tradition in Middle East. My simple argument and my simple question, and maybe an enlightening figure to all of you, is that suppose you being a student, if you manage to get 99.9% in let's say IIS Jeddah, okay, or ISM Wadi Kabir, or ISM Muscat. Okay, if you've got 99.9% in your CBSE board, is that going to guarantee you a seat in any of the engineering college? Is that going to guarantee you? The answer is no. Even if you get 100% marks in your CBSE, you are not going to get a guarantee that you will be getting a seat over there. So what is going to get a guarantee that you're going to make to the best of the engineering institutes or the medical institutes or the other commerce institute or the economics institute, whatever. The thing that is going to guarantee you is your preparation for the entrance examination. I hope you understand that now. If there is a student, I am the student who is from Dubai, you are the student from Dubai. I managed to get 99.9 percentile in my board examination, and you got, let's say, 80%. Okay, but your JEE score, JEE main score is better than me. Okay, that means DASA and the CIWG and NTA, which is the organizing authority for JEE or in NEET medical examination in India, they are going to consider you over me, because I have shown that aptitude and intellect and not just the CBSE score. Okay, so just don't run after the CBSE preparation. They are important, but preparation for the engineering examination, entrance examination, any entrance examination is a lot different than what you think your CBSE preparation will do. Okay. I'm unable to write most of these things because my pen tablet doesn't seem to be responding too much. So I'm just giving you figures. If you are carrying a pen and copy with you, you can possibly be writing on your piece of paper. Just have this thing in mind. You have 730 days, okay, approximately 730 days with you in these 2 years, and in JEE main itself, you have more than 800 subtopics to study from. Do you understand? If you waste any further time after your board examination, your daily average of studying these topics will become higher. Let me just try and attempt doing one thing if I can. Okay, I have this sheet with me. Let me just write something so that I'll be able to do justice to what I'm saying. Okay, let me just write it down. Give me a second, please. Yeah. Okay. Bear with my handwriting. Okay. To crack JEE or NEET exam or I'm saying any entrance examination if it's happening in India. And yeah, soon I'll be coming to the other slide also, in which we are going to talk about the approach for the abroad. Okay, to crack any of these entrance examination, you need to have a practice of minimum 6,000 questions. Kindly ignore my writing. I'm not able to write at all, but I'm somehow managing to write them. You have to have a practice of at least these 6,000 question here. If you do not have a practice of minimum 60,000 questions, give me a second. So, if you do not have a practice of minimum of these 6,000 questions, your chances of getting selected or getting a good JEE score, even under the NRI category, is very bleak, is very difficult. At the face of it, on the face of it, this 6,000 might seem a bit difficult, that okay, this is too much, but you just have to have an average. On a daily basis, I'm asking you to do 10 questions. Okay. If you do 10 questions daily, I think this is okay. If I do daily 10 questions for next 30 days, this means on a monthly basis, I'm solving 300 questions. If you solve these 300 questions for the next 10 months, you will be able to do 3,000 questions. If I do that for next 2 years, I will be able to achieve this target of 6,000 questions. It's not a science. It is not a too much of calculation. It is a simple methodology. It is a simple preparation strategy that you have to follow. There cannot be any strategy which you can implement now, and it can help you give a result in next few seconds. This is a preparation strategy. Okay, all the TestprepKart students who are studying, what are we doing? Are we giving entrance examination on their behalf? No. Are we asking them to come back here in India and prepare in our centers or stay in the hostels? No, we're not doing anything of that sort. But we are producing the maximum number of results in the DASA and CIWG. Why? Why so? How is that possible? By following this approach, that since you enroll with TestprepKart or since you start studying yourself, there is no need to study with the TestprepKart at all. If you follow this simple rule, if you being a little systematic in your approach, if you do 10 questions daily, every month you'll be able to solve 300 questions. If you do that for another 10 months, 3000 questions. If you do that for next 2 years, you'll be able to do 6000 questions, which is the minimum criteria for getting. Okay, let me just come back to the preview mode. Okay, so I explained you why it is required, the math behind the preparation. If this mathematics is not done at this point in time, your daily average of solving questions right now, it is 10 questions per day. If you delay it by 1 month, if you delay your preparation by 2 months, if you delay your preparation by 6 months, this average questions daily will go anywhere from 10 questions daily to 100 questions daily, or maybe 500, 200, 300, 400 questions as the JEE examination will approach. So do not make this burden up for you. Do not make this up intentionally. Okay, you can compromise on your JEE preparations, JEE tuition classes, for the reason because JEE syllabus is identical and similar to what you study in grade 11th and 12th. It is the same syllabus. The only difficulty is that the questions difficulty level is going to be far more higher than what we think. Okay, so I will not waste much time now. I'll quickly hop on to the other PPT because we don't have much time. You all will be running short of it. So the second presentation is entrance exam targeting India, abroad, or best possible options. Okay, I'll read it again for you. Entrance exams targeting India or abroad, or the best possible options. So many of you must be thinking at this point in time that I'll be targeting India for engineering or medical. That is a question of choice by the student. There is nothing that I can help in doing it. If you feel that okay, this is something that can that helps me, if engineering is what I wanted to get into, traditionally it was like there were only few engineering options available. These days we have so many engineering specializations available, and we have made a separate video for it. Just go and try to see, but you cannot afford to decide between engineering and medical for longer, because if you don't decide right now, and many of the parents would be saying that okay, you take PCMB in grade 11th, it's okay, we have time. Let me just tell you, biology in grade 11th is one of the subject in which you have the maximum number of chapters and the maximum number of units. Okay, and you have to study them along with mathematics just because you couldn't decide till now. So don't do that mistake. Don't overburden yourself. Just make it as a choice. Is it going to be medical? Don't ask if it's going to be engineering or medical. Ask yourself, is it going to be medical? If you get answer, no, it's not going to be medical, then straight away choose engineering. Why? Because choosing engineering stream will make your options available for you even for engineering and for the commerce or for other streams, because along with PCM, you can choose other subjects of your preference that can help you later on. But if you choose medical, your engineering options are gone. So if you have a change of mind, you will not be able to do anything at all. Okay, so the first thing is targeting India for engineering or for medical. For engineering, if you target engineering, then you have three options for you. Okay, what are the three options? The first option is that you can target IITs in India, okay, which are the premier institutes in India. For IITs, I told you, student who is back there in India or who is here in the Middle East, they are all are at the same level. The second option you have for engineering in India is CFTIs. CFTIs. We call them centrally funded institutions in India. These CFTIs are a group of 65 colleges approximately, in which you have all these NITs, triple ITs, SPAs, School of Architecture, Planning and Architecture, and I think IISER. And these are the second best institutes in India that you can possibly have. And in these institutes, you have 65. Yeah, in these CFTIs, you have NRI quota applicable. You have seats reserved for you under this category. 4,000 seats are there. And I already told you about DASA and CAWG. Those who do not know or could not recall, just go back to the TestprepKart channel, subscribe to the channel, and go and watch all the entire series of DASA and CAWG. Your doubts will be cleared. Because my personal opinion is that, because I've seen more than, I think, not if not less than, I think more than 5, 7 or maybe 10,000 students we have experienced so far. And I can say it with the utmost sincerity, that you shouldn't be wasting time as of now. Otherwise, this could be a game changer for you. Okay, you are planning something else, and something else will happen which is not in your control. So don't create that situation for yourself. Okay. So second option is getting admission into these centrally funded institutions in India. Third option for you is getting admission into state engineering colleges. If you guys belong to, let's say, Kerala, so you can take admission into government engineering colleges in Kerala by writing state engineering entrance examination for Kerala, which is KEAM. If you are from Gujarat, you can still write GUJCET. If you're from Maharashtra, you can write MHTCET. And state likewise. Okay. Good thing, if you prepare for JEE Main, the good thing is, if you are writing JEE Main and unfortunately you have to settle for the state government engineering colleges, then you don't have to write these state engineering examinations separately. Your JEE score is applicable enough, is sufficient enough to make you get seat in those government engineering colleges, because they will accept JEE main score. Okay, those who have not written JEE main, for them it is necessary and essential to write these regional engineering entrance examination. So first option I told you for you is the IIT, second is the CFTIs, the sweet spot, the third is the state engineering colleges, and the fourth one are the private engineering colleges in India. By private, I am not saying, and I'm not demeaning anything. In India, you have best of the private engineering colleges, let's say Triple IT Hyderabad. You can easily, not easily, but it is easy compared to IITs. You can get admission into Triple IT Hyderabad by writing SAT examination. SAT, we do prepare for SAT also, which will help you, and this SAT will come in the second point. So this will play a pivotal role in the second point. So let me just stick to the point number 1. So you can take admission into Triple IT Hyderabad, you can take admission into BITS, you can take admission into VITs, Vellore Institute of Technology. These are the premium private engineering colleges for which you have to write a separate entrance exam. For BITS, you have to write BITSAT. For Triple IT Hyderabad, you have to write SAT. For this VIEEE, you have to write, for VIT, you have to write VIEEE. So you have to have this clarity at this point in time. You cannot plan all of this. You cannot plan your route. You cannot plan your proof of your action in the grade 12th because that is the time when you should be paying attention to your approach which you have created in grade 11th. Okay, 12th is not the time to prepare an approach and then prepare for the entrance examination. You'll be too late to do that. Okay, so 11th is the time when you should start preparing for the entrance examination. Coming back to the second point, which is targeting abroad. Many of the parents are there who say is that, okay, we are comfortable coming back to India and we are comfortable going to abroad also, but tell us the sweet spot or the best option configuration which we can take and should not make the student go about it, and should not make the student a little occupied with the studies and all of those things, right? So if you're targeting abroad, the best thing that you can do is prepare for JEE main. Along with JEE main, prepare for SAT, Scholastic Aptitude Test, conducted by College Board. It is conducted worldwide. You have centers in your city also, and the SAT examination gets conducted approximately 4 to 5 times a year, and many out of 100% students who are studying with TestprepKart, I can say approximately 30 to 40% students, they study in a combination of JEE main plus SAT. Now you might wonder, if they study for 2 entrance examination, they'll get distracted and they'll not be able to pay attention. You are right in thinking so, but the reality is a little different. JEE main examination is difficult and SAT is quite easier. If you are preparing for JEE main, you are preparing for what subjects? You are preparing for physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Whereas SAT is considered to be a not that difficult examination, though it's an aptitude-based examination, but not difficult examination. Over in SAT, you are being tested for 2 things. First is the English, and second is the mathematics. Your mathematics is already getting covered when you are preparing for the JEE mains, because in JEE main your mathematics is of a good level. If you are preparing for the JEE mains, your SAT mathematics is already automatically getting covered. Okay, so the only thing that you have to worry about is the English part, that you can do quite easily. Even if you spend 2 hours, maybe 5 to 10 hours in a week, if you do that, you'll be able to do it, and you can secure yourself. You can secure your future by reserving a seat in any of the college abroad by writing SAT. So if in case you couldn't make to India, or if your preference is also not there in India, by writing SAT, and you have almost 4 to 5 attempts a year, so you can write this examination again and again until unless you get your desired score, which is very easy to get in SAT. So if you are targeting abroad for engineering, let's say US, and I'm not talking about the low-hanging fruits, those parents or students who are planning because the other colleagues are doing the same, that they are going to Canada or European countries on the basis of their 10th, 11th and 12th mark sheet. If they are going there on the basis of that only, do not attempt that. Do not think as of now about that option. That is your last resort. My sincere suggestion would be that prepare for SAT. Okay, prepare for SAT. Get a good score, which you will be able to do it. You have time for it. Even you will be able to write SAT in the coming May, because you are going to get in grade 11th. In this coming May itself, if you prepare for 1 month, for April and May, you can give a May attempt. Then September, October there is an attempt. Then January you have another attempt coming for SAT. If you get a good score or a perfect score at this point in time, your selection in one of the in few of the best universities abroad is almost certain, because your score is valid for 2 years. Okay, while other students who are struggling as of now about getting admission, you can secure your admission, your seat at this point in time. So what's the point if you are if you're not making sure, if you're not making a foolproof plan for you, you are just wasting your time. Okay, Otherwise, ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to do only those things which I'm telling you. Right now, you have time. You should be focusing on that, and just make a decision faster. Other students who are planning for medical for abroad, uh, I do not know if you are going to judge me for this, but I have to say it clearly. If you're targeting US for medical, just forget about it. It is virtually impossible, and if at all it's possible, you will end up paying more than 3 to 4 crore rupees. So it is not virtually possible. Even for those who have this capacity to pay, your selection of your chances of getting selected is less than 1% for US. I'm saying, and for those who are targeting European countries, those who are thinking that we'll send it to Russia, China, or other European countries for medical, even then you have to write NEET, and to practice there in India or anywhere across the world, you have to clear their entrance examination later, and the level of preparation or the level of MBBS or level of medical degree that they are offering you will not help you anyway in any way. We have seen many cases. On the basis of my experience, I'm telling it to you, do not go for that option at all. So what option you have? The only and the practical option you are having with you right now is to prepare for NEET, because you cannot escape that. As per the recent regulation and guidelines, who all are the Indians who are settled even abroad, all those who are here in India planning to get admission in medical abroad, for them the NEET examination is mandatory. This means it doesn't matter where you want to take admission, still you have to write NEET. So if you have to write NEET, why to waste time? Why to settle for less? Let's prepare rigorously for NEET. Let us create your roadmap. Let us create your pedagogy. Let us create your schedule. And in next 2 years, you will be able to do it the way you want. And you will be able to get admission in India for a much lesser price, for a much higher valued degree, which is accepted worldwide at a much lower fees. Your fees in government medical colleges, if you get a good score in NEET, your fee is not going to be more than 10 lakh rupees. I'm saying it right. I'm not making it as a false statement. Less than 10 lakh rupees. It all depends on your NEET score. It all depends which institution you are going in. If you're going for a lower score, if you have 300, 400, 250, 300 marks in NEET out of this 720, and you're going for a private institute, you may end up paying 1.5 crore rupees for a single seat. At the same time, if you have a good score, 500 plus, 600 plus, 650 plus, whatever, you in Gujarat, the medical seat, if you get, you probably end up paying only 10 lakh rupees or 15 lakh rupees for a MBBS degree. So this is how it all happens, and you need to know it. Okay. So the conclusion, the best fit for you, all those who are planning to go to abroad or planning to stay here in or do there or conduct to get admission in there in India for medical, there is no other option for you to prepare for NEET as at this point in time. For engineering students who are certain that they will be going to India, only prepare for JEE main examination, and it will take care of everything. If you get a good JEE score, you will be able to get DASA and CIWG. We had almost 70% of the students got selected under the DASA and CIWG in the year 2022. The result is already published on the website. Those who are planning to get go to abroad, in your case, and you are not certain that I'll be able to go to abroad only if I manage to get a scholarship, okay, or financial assistance. If I manage to get financial assistance, if I manage to get scholarship, I'm ready to go to abroad and join much higher institute than India. Then for you, the sweet spot is prepare for JEE Main and SAT. Adding SAT is not going to get any burden on you, even 1%. You just have to do one paper a week that we are going to send it for you. In next 3 months time, you will be good enough, you will be prepared enough, and you will be ready enough to write SAT paper, and you will be able to get minimum 1200 marks out of 1600. That is what we can assure you. Okay, so for you the sweet spot is prepare for SAT 2, prepare for SAT and prepare for JEE, who are targeting abroad or India, both options. Okay, let me just come back to the other point here, the third slide. I think I've already explained you. Just give me a second, please. Yeah. So this is the third. No. Level. Yeah. So this is the third slide, which I've already explained. I think options other than JEE or NEET, best private colleges at the state level colleges. I've explained you earlier. At a national level, in India, for engineering, the national level entrance examination is JEE, JEE Main. Those who plan to go to IIT, they have to write JEE Main, and they also have to write advanced after JEE Main. If you are planning to go for CFTIs, as I told you, for the NRI students, they only have to write JEE Main. All the medical aspirants, they have to write NEET. State level examination, I told you, KEM, Gujarat, MHTCET, Comdec, WBJE, these are the state engineering entrance examination. If at all you have, if you are planning that I will not be writing JEE Main, in any case, you can simply consider writing state engineering entrance examination and you'll be able to get admission over there. Then comes the best private options available. In private, best engineering colleges, I told you some of the examples. IIIT Hyderabad, VIT is there, and BITS, of course, you have a center in Dubai also. So these are the private institute, but the Dubai center fee is much higher. Consider doing it, taking admission in BITS after writing BITSAT. BITSAT is a separate examination, and you cannot replace your JEE Main with the BITSAT. Okay. When it's a private engineering colleges, you have to write their entrance examination in these cases, whichever are the premium ones. Like for VIT, you have to write VIEEE. For IIIT Hyderabad, you have to write SAT, and for BITS, I told you BITSAT. Okay, so these are the private options available. Just consider doing it. The fourth option is CBSE versus the entrance exam preparation. Second point is what you lose if you just don't start. And third is how TestprepKart helps students so far. Let me just ask Avinash if we are getting some questions. Just give me a second. Avinash, are we getting any questions? Okay, so I think Avinash is replying them, and we will reply you with the possible URLs where you'll be able to get a more comprehensive answer compared to what I can give you right now, because that will take you to a landing page where you'll find immense amount of information which is required for you just at this point in time. Also, I've discussed this fourth slide with you, which is the CBSE versus the entrance exam preparation. In my opinion, if you ask me, if you are spending too much time, maybe if each class is of 2 hours, you are spending roughly like 6 to 7 hours on a weekly basis on CBSE preparation, replace this with the JEE preparation. If you replace this CBSE preparation or the tuition classes with the JEE preparation classes, you will be ahead of at least 60 to 70% students who are preparing to write JEE from Middle East. You just have to swap your CBSE classes with the JEE classes. You might wonder, if we do that, the grades will come down. Student will not be able to compete with the other students over there. In fact, you have to know, you have to understand that it is not even your competition. They are not even your competitors. If they are studying for CBSE, you are not scheduled, you are not prepared, you do not have any intention. You should not have any intention to get 99% in CBSE. I am not refraining, I'm not saying you should not do that. But what I'm saying is, doing that at the cost or on the compromise of JEE preparation is not right. But if you replace your CBSE preparation with the JEE preparation, can you understand that the difficulty level of JEE main preparation is far more ahead than a CBSE board examination? If your student is prepared for a JEE main, isn't it understood or common is it easy to understand that they'll be able to do good automatically in the board examination? If they're prepared for much, if the aptitude has risen in the last few years by doing those important questions, by doing questions which are much more difficult on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being the easiest and 4 being the difficult. CBSE would be somewhere around 1 or 2, whereas the JEE main question of a similar topic which is in grade 11th and 12th, the difficulty level is going to be of 4. So if a student is practiced, if the student is already accustomed of doing these questions which are like 3 to difficulty level of 3 to 4, he'll be obviously be able to do it better in the board examination. If you do it other way around, like no, I'll not be focusing more on the JEE preparation, I'll be focusing more on the CBSE preparation, automatically your rank automatically in DASA and CAWT, it'll flunk for sure. And this is what is happening in most of the cases with the NRI parents abroad. There must be, I assume that there must be parents and the students who are not from the CBSE curriculum, probably they might be from the IB curriculum. They also have a challenge of selecting 3 sciences, for which we have already given you an answer. You can just write to us on info@testprepkart.com and we'll be able to answer that also. Okay, or you can just join the WhatsApp group for the IB students who are preparing with us for JEE and SAT, and that community will be able to help you a lot in coming through this this query. Okay, so for IB students, it is altogether a different paradigm shift. When they are in their SL and HLs, they are only allowed to take 2 science subjects and not 3, which is required in grade in diploma programs. So this is a CBSE versus an entrance exam preparation scenario. My overview is that always give preference to the entrance examination at this point in time. Do not compromise on CBSE, but attention should be given to the entrance exam preparation. If you do that, you have simply secured, you are simply above 70% of your competition. I can simply say this statement. I hope I'll be able to convey myself. What you lose if you don't start, second point. So I think throughout this session I've already spoken about this. What you lose if you just don't start. You will lose time, you will lose your patience, you will lose your money, you will lose your confidence. Basically 4 things you will lose as a parent and as a student. Why you lose all these things, I've already explained you. And one of the important things that you lose amongst these 4 are the confidence of cracking the entrance examination. Right now you have a time to fail. You can fail multiple times and you can start afresh. You can stand again and again and again. But your average questions of 10 questions per day, if you do not start that from starting 1st of April 2023, you will have difficulty in April 2025 for sure, because your average questions of 10 questions per day will be 100 questions, will be 50 questions per day, depending on when you started preparing for JEE or SAT or for NEET or for any of the entrance examination. This is the only math behind your preparation. Nobody, the parents should not think that my child aptitude is not up to that level. Do not think about it. Do not think on that line. It is all about practice and practice and practice. There is no aptitude you can build without asking the student to practice. If a student is very good in aptitude, ask them to write JEE main paper without even seeing it once, without even practicing it even once, without thinking about it even once. If the aptitude is so high, they should be able to crack the entrance examination. But they will not be able to do it because there is a thing called preparation. Okay, so preparation is utmost important. Aptitude you can build up. You have time, like another 2 years you have with you. You can build up your aptitude. Okay, so do not think in on those lines. Right now you have time to fail and start again. Later on you will not have time to fail and your average questions daily will go higher. By the time you will write your JEE main, if you have not practiced those 6,000 questions, your chances of getting selected under JEE main is less than 20%. Forget about CIWG. Getting admission in DASA is going to be difficult. Okay. Coming back to the third point, how TestprepKart helps students so far. I'll keep this short and crisp. I do not want to do any sort of marketing here, but I just wanted to tell you, TestprepKart has been there for the last 10 years. We have been teaching and training students for IB, CBSE, JEE, NEET and SAT. Our main forte is JEE preparation, NEET preparation and SAT preparations. For the NRI community worldwide, we have students from across the globe, US, majority of the students come from Middle East. We have students studied with us in US, Japan, Europe and Middle East is the major chunk. Out of every, I can say almost 70 to 80% who are students studying with TestprepKart are getting selected either in the CIWG or in DASA. I do not want to spend much time over it. We have a foundation course starting for the student who just came in grade 10th, and we have 2-year courses starting for the student who is in grade 11th, and a 1-year course for a student who is going to get into grade 12th. You all are invited to take an analysis session with TestprepKart, wherein you should be able to see what is your child aptitude. If you do not know your aptitude, if you do not know your shortcoming right now, you do not know how much distance you have to travel in order to reach your destination. You are living in, let's say, Muscat. One of the places I visit is Wadi Kabir. And if you're staying in Wadi Kabir and you wanted to go to the Muscat airport, if you're living there, you know on a regular basis, I'll be taking approximately 1 hour to reach there. You have come to the conclusion 1 hour just because you have been there a couple of times and you know exactly how much time it generally takes. Same is the thing with the preparation. Since you have not taken the preparation road so far, you will not be able to come to the conclusion what amount of time do I have to, the time I require to do my preparation. You will not be able to decide your starting point A and ending point B. If you do not know the distance in between, you will not be able to plan anything out of it. To make it happen, to make it easy, I suggest all of you to book an analysis session with the TestprepKart. Just simply write on info at testprepkart.com with your details, student class, parent email ID, your current country and your entrance exam preparation, which exam you are targeting, and we'll be able to give you a free analysis session wherein TestprepKart team will be able to tell it to you what is your aptitude level on the basis of 1 to 10 and how much time do you actually need to prepare for these entrance examination and what are going to be the shortcomings which you are going to experience and how you can encounter them. If you're interested in that, you can just simply do it. So this was my time. I think I have taken more than scheduled, but I'm happy that you all stayed along with me during this session. So I'll just ask Avinash if there are any practical question that I can take up. Else we will close this session. And for the queries which are not answered, I just wanted to make sure that each of the queries will be answered. If you can just write it to us at info@testprepKart.com, and we'll be happy to answer all of you, because I know there is no one else to answer your queries. Okay, so we take that as a responsibility, and we will try to answer all of them. Just let me ask Avinash if I have anything. No specific, no? Okay, so I think since the queries are not specific in nature and you might take some time, what you do is just write us an email and we'll be happy to come back to you. So this was my time. Thank you. Thanks all of you. We'll be soon scheduling a session for grade 12 student also. Those who are interested can come, then they can just simply follow the TestprepKart YouTube channel, and we'll be able to announce that on YouTube soon, and we'll be able to start. So thanks. Thank you very much.